It is way more common than what people think for you to encounter hurricane gale force winds in Iceland, or at least very high wind storms. And that video is a prime example of what can happen in terms of you trying to just get into your car on a regular day when you're visiting. So I'm going to share some tips that I think would be really helpful for anybody who plans to rent a car in Iceland, which I highly recommend that you do, and how you can avoid damaging the car, because unfortunately the car doors, if they are ripped off or bent the other way due to a windstorm, that's not covered by insurance. So let's just get into that. First off, parking your car, if possible, with the front of the car, the nose, against the wind, so that if you were to open up your doors, the wind is coming this way. And yes, it makes it a little bit hard to open the doors, but at least the wind's not from behind your car where it can have more force to push the car doors open. Next is, if when you're getting into the car, you're opening the car either from the inside or the outside, always make sure that you're holding on to the door the whole time. Now I'm talking about in extremely windy conditions. Obviously, if it's not windy, you don't have to be holding on to your car door the whole time. But you saw in that video that she's holding on and she's pulling the whole time, because otherwise, if you let the car door get away from you, if the wind is pushing the door, then again, it can basically bend it backwards or break it off. And we're trying to avoid doing that. Next, if there are multiple of you in the car getting in or out, only open one car door at a time. So literally, let's just say the driver's getting in first, the other people are waiting to get into the car, they open their car door, the driver, and then they close theirs, and then the next passenger opens their car door, holds on to it, gets in, closes theirs. The whole issue is to prevent sort of this wind tunnel that comes through, and it makes it harder for any of the doors to be closed. Of course, if you're curious about when there will be windstorms, you can always check safetravel.is for windstorm warnings or any kind of storm warnings. And of course, the weather station, weather.is. This is not meant to scare people. It's more just to be aware and cautious when you are opening or closing doors, because obviously there can be damage that's done to the car if not handled properly. And if you are planning to rent a car, you can use my code Iceland10 with Go Car Rental Iceland to save 10%, or Iceland7 with Go Campers to save 7% and get 2 free duvets.